Caitlin Clark has to be subjected to this nonsense.
Now you're punishing Caitlin for her whiteness.
All you gotta do is attack her fan.
Scotty Agnes. They say you wrote a new article, man. It's got the whole WNBA world in a tizzy, man.
Scott Agnes writing an article about all the nastiness that Caitlin Clark has received from her teammates' family members online.
Just moments ago, a firestorm erupted after Indiana Fever reporter Scott Agnes.
In an article that he had published, he spoke about Caitlin Clark. He said, they are America's team. However, there's a lot of nastiness almost entirely online that comes along with that.
Labeled Caitlin Clark's loyal fans as the dark side in his latest article, completely ignoring the relentless hate Caitlin herself has faced for months.
Hey, it's easy to fall in line with the WNBA old guard, to fall in line with legacy media, to fall in line with how the WNBA wants to paint this Caitlin Clark and her new fans picture. It's easy. All you got to do is attack her fans.
Instead of defending the league's biggest star, he turned on her and her supporters, sparking outrage across the basketball world. If you stand with Caitlin Clark, drop 100% in the comments. Let's dive in.
Scott Agnes, I'm disappointed in you. You made me sick today, Scott. This is nasty, nasty, nasty. If y'all don't know who Scott Agnes is, he's a guy that's he's very close to the team. He gets a lot of access. He's in the practices.
The backlash came fast and it came hard. Scott Agnes, a longtime Indiana Fever reporter with insider access to practices, players, and press conferences.
But then yesterday in an article, he put something in there, and I don't know if he thought it was going to be a side note to his article, but you cannot call Caitlin Clark fans the dark side of the fan.
Dropped what should have been a simple article celebrating the team's recent momentum, but buried within the praise was a line that instantly lit social media on fire. He referred to Caitlin Clark's fans as the dark side. That was the moment everything shifted. The phrasing wasn't subtle, it was a direct shot.
They are America's team. However, there's a lot of nastiness almost entirely online that comes along with that. It's something they've dealt with last season and again this season. The reality is those who are the loudest aren't Fever or basketball fans. They're only there for Clark.
Agnes claimed that while the Fever were America's team, they were simultaneously battling a wave of negativity online, mostly from those who aren't basketball fans or Fever fans, but only here for Clark.
But you cannot call Caitlin Clark fans the dark side of the fandom. No, that wasn't the greatest or smartest idea in the world.
He painted Caitlin's supporters as disruptive outsiders, implying they were toxic, divisive, and even detrimental to the team. But that portrayal couldn't be further from reality, and fans knew it.
Scott Agnes writing an article about all the nastiness that Caitlin Clark has received from her teammates' family members online.
Within hours, criticism poured in from all sides. What made it worse was Scott's proximity to the organization. This wasn't some outsider writing a hot take.
If the Indiana Fever players decided to travel the world as the CC All-Stars and play games against the top teams in Australia, top teams in Europe, top teams in Asia, in exhibition games, but they're like competitive exhibition games.
This was someone with daily access to the team, someone who regularly interviews players, sits courtside, and shapes public opinion about the franchise. Instead of using that platform to support the player who's lifted the entire WNBA, he turned on her, and by extension, her millions of supporters.
They're doing it together without Caitlin Clark and believe they've still got another level to reach. And in this article, without speaking about all the support this team has still received, though Caitlin Clark's been injured, without speaking about all the attendance numbers that this team has still garnered because Caitlin Clark fans and supporters have fallen in love with this team and have followed this team even without her playing, instead of going that route,
what makes the situation even more insulting is the fact that Caitlin Clark is currently sidelined with injury. She's not even playing, and yet somehow her name is still being dragged through the mud. Agnes had a choice: highlight how much support the Fever continue to receive in her absence, or downplay her importance and take a shot at her fans. He chose the latter. And let's be clear,
Clark fans are sticking around for Fever games. Interesting. And most of Clark fans are basketball. I just want to know how we're distinguishing the three and why.
those Clark fans he tried to distance from the game, they're the reason Indiana has sold-out crowds in nearly every arena. They're why Fever games are televised nationally more than any other WNBA team. They're buying jerseys, filling stadiums, and investing in a league many of them had never followed before Caitlin arrived.
In an article that he had published, he spoke about Caitlin Clark. He said, they are America's team. For one, this is only America's team because Caitlin Clark is here. Y'all don't seem to realize that part. Y'all think it's because about y'all, the organization. Don't nobody give a damn about that.
They're the ones still watching and supporting even while she's not on the floor. Calling them the dark side isn't just wrong. It's delusional. It's disrespectful to the people who've injected life.
If you think the Fever are better without Caitlin Clark, you don't understand basketball, and I think the Indiana Fever will tell you they're not better. So all of this crazy ball movement and everything to get open shots the Fever do now, those shots are open automatically with Caitlin. But in this article, he says this: they are America's team. No, this is not America's team. This is Caitlin and friends.
Relevance and money into a league that's long struggled for national attention. And fans didn't let it slide. Many began questioning whether this was just Scott speaking or if he was echoing the quiet frustrations of the Fever organization itself.
If the front office and management doesn't mess all of this up. However, there's a lot of nastiness almost entirely online that comes along with that. Just read the comments, or don't actually. You mean of sports fans?
Has the front office grown resentful of the attention Clark gets? Is there jealousy behind the scenes? And if so, why is the one person who should be celebrated as the franchise's savior now being used as a scapegoat? No matter the intention, the damage is done. The article revealed a growing divide between the media narrative and the reality fans are seeing.
As far as I'm concerned, man, she needs to get the hell away from anything surrounding this team, man. Outside of Lexi Hall, Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell, Leah Buck, the teammates, the people that really rock with her.
And one thing's become painfully clear. Calling out Caitlin Clark's fans to score media points is a losing game. Because this fan base isn't going anywhere, and neither is Caitlin.
The team has come together. The team has battled with a lot of outside noise coming from the social media. Instead of saying that, we say the team is coming together because of, even after all of the nasty stuff that Caitlin Clark fans have been saying.
Painting Clark's fans as a distraction, while completely ignoring that Caitlin herself has taken the high road time and time again. She's never complained, never whined, never pointed fingers.
Now you're pandering. Now you're being a woke tard. Now you're punishing Caitlin for her white.
She shows up, competes, and lets her game do the talking. So why is the media attacking her supporters instead of standing by the person who's lifted the entire league onto her back? It's not just selective reporting, it's deflection.
And because of her fan base, she gets slammed left and right. Can you imagine that? Like, she hasn't even played half the season, and she's getting thrown into controversy every single day for the most part.
Rather than call out the real issues, jealousy from rival teams, bitterness from legacy media, or the challenges that come with skyrocketing attention, they blame the fans. The same fans who pay for league passes, who fill the arenas, who show up regardless of who's playing. The same fans who care.
Her fan base has been besmirched and branded as racist. You don't give a damn about it. You had a chance to come to bat for Caitlin's fan base, and you threw more gasoline on us.
This isn't just unfair. It's dangerous, because it signals that even when you do everything right, the media will still twist the story against you if it fits their preferred narrative. And if that's the treatment Caitlin Clark gets after everything she's done for this sport, then it's not just the fans being disrespected. It's the truth.
When people ask, what does this have to do with that? Oh, they're thriving in part because they've been able to stay together through the highs and lows and block out the noise.
This isn't just about an article. It's about a growing agenda, one that quietly weaponizes race, resentment, and outdated narratives to chip away at Caitlin Clark's impact on the league.
Doesn't matter if they're white, black, Chinese, Indian. It don't matter. They're racist. It doesn't even matter. It's crazy, man. It's nasty work, man. Caitlin Clark needs to get away from this organization. They do not care to protect her. They are not honest. They don't have her best interest.
And the truth? A lot of this backlash isn't about basketball. It's about the fact that Caitlin Clark is white, successful, dominant, and loved by millions, including a rapidly growing fan base that doesn't fit the mold, especially black men. That's the part no one in the media wants to talk about, because it completely disrupts the false idea that Clark is only supported by one demographic.
The amount of black men taking up for the sanctity of Caitlin Clark, aka Mel Gibson, is so cringe. If she was a colored womb, ninjas would be like, she need to toughen up. So a lot of people have problems with Caitlin Clark's black male fans and her black woman fans to a lesser degree, but mainly her black male fans.
In reality, she has wide-reaching support from black fans, white fans, casual fans, and lifelong basketball junkies alike. Yet somehow, those who support her most, particularly black men, are mocked and labeled sellouts, as if cheering for a talented white athlete somehow betrays their identity. That's not just divisive, it's straight up racist. One tweet even mocked black men defending Clark as cringe, claiming they wouldn't support her if she were a colored womb.
Scott Agnes, you have become a joke. I cannot believe you published this in your goddamn article.
Another said they deserve to be lynched by Caitlin Clark fans. That's not just vitriol, that's hate speech. And what's worse, Scott Agnes had nothing to say about that, not a single sentence. Instead, he chose the easy route. Call Clark's fans the dark side, pretend the real abuse doesn't exist, and keep his media pass intact by staying on the league's good side. Why? Because defending Caitlin Clark would require him to call out players like Angel Reese, who've openly targeted her.
However, there's a lot of nastiness almost entirely online that comes along with that. Just read the comments or don't actually. And that is true. Every single sports team deals with nastiness online.
It would require acknowledging that rival fan bases have said far worse things about her than anything her supporters have ever done. It would mean telling the truth, that the hate Clark receives isn't just because she's popular, it's because she's disrupting a league that wasn't ready for someone like her. And here's the real kicker. The WNBA for years begged for mainstream relevance. They pleaded for headlines, sponsors, and fans. Now they've got all of that because of Caitlin Clark.
It's disgusting. And then he's going to go, when Caitlin Clark's ready to return, he's going to try to be at the podium and get interviews and ask questions to post them on his channel.
She's the reason for record attendance, skyrocketing TV ratings, and sold-out merchandise. And instead of protecting her, instead of showing gratitude, they let one of their closest reporters turn on her fans and push a divisive narrative that could drive those very supporters away. And if that happens, if the league loses Clark's fan base because they felt disrespected and unwanted, there's no coming back.
Why don't you guys ever address the hate towards Clark, Boston, and Sophie from other fan bases? It's extremely loud, and ignoring it to bash Cece's fan base, who pays y'all's bills, appears as if you're purposely downplaying Caitlin Clark. That goes to my initial point.
Because what Caitlin brought to the WNBA wasn't just attention, it was opportunity. She gave the league a second chance, and now that chance is being fumbled.
These reporters, we got them using her for content and then stabbing her in the back and coming at her fans, talking about their nasty online, feeding into a BS narrative. I just can't. I don't know why she would even subject herself to this even longer, man. I don't know. This all this does is fuel these people, and then he's trying to defend. He's trying to defend it. And shout out to Ken Swift, because I originally got a hold of this on Ken Swift's Twitter. Shout out to Correlation in the chat, in the comments. She said, mind you, just this week, we had our players facing nasty abuse online from other teams' fans. But okay, yeah. Aaliyah Boston has been harassed by other teams' fans. She's been called all types of names. Kelsey Mitchell has been called all types of names. Sydney Colson, because she's really cool with Caitlin Clark, has been called all types of names. Sophie Cunningham is getting booed in every single arena, every single night. Nobody has a problem with it. Nobody has a problem with how the Fever players get treated by these other teams' fans. But the minute the Indiana Fever fan boos somebody, oh, the fan base is nasty. The fan base is racist.
This isn't just a media misstep. It's a warning. The deeper agenda to paint Caitlin Clark as privileged, her fans as toxic, and her presence as problematic is unraveling.
Don't look at Twitter. You can do whatever you want on your Instagram. You can follow the players you want to follow. You don't have to look in your comments.
People are waking up. They see the bias. They see the selective outrage, and they're not staying quiet because this isn't just about sports. It's about fairness. It's about truth. And most of all, it's about respect for the woman who saved the league.
I don't want that. That credential is poisonous. I mean, if the NFL offered me one, I would take it. You know why I would take it? So I could go to the combine and watch the guys work out, and I could study the draft guys.
Scott Agnes thought he could quietly throw shade at Caitlin Clark's fans and get away with it. But the backlash proves otherwise. The truth is clear. Without Caitlin, there is no buzz, no packed arenas, no record-breaking ratings. Disrespect her or her supporters, and you're not just insulting a player, you're pushing away the very people keeping the league alive.